I'm so excited because it's finally time to harvest the sweet potatoes I've been growing. The way this worked is I grew these plants from slips, where you take a sweet potato, you submerge it in water, you let it sit, and it grows roots from the bottom and it grows foliage from the top. Then you have to clip the foliage, put that in a jar of water until it develops roots, and that's what you plant. I began by planting them into bags, grow bags that I bought at Tractor Supply. As you can see, those grow bags from the beginning have now turned into these floppy messes. So we're gonna root around in here and see what's there. But before I do, I can actually cut off clippings from these before I harvest. I can root these in a glass of water all through the winter, and then in the spring, as soon as it's warm enough, I've got my slips ready to go. I don't have to waste the several weeks it took to grow the slips before I can plant my sweet potatoes. All right, so I've clipped off 8 pieces that I'm now going to root in this water over the winter. If I can get them all to go in. And then these will each get planted in a giant pot or new grow bags for next year's crop of sweet potatoes. It's all cool because I got this all from one sweet potato, one original sweet potato. And we're gonna grow all this stuff from that. So this is the harvest from the very first bag, plus one super giant one that I already harvested that I'll show you in a moment. So these are little bitty guys, but they will cook up and taste just fine. Okay, now let's dig into this bag and let's see if anything is in here. And this bag is just gonna disintegrate. Oh! Look! 2 nice ones. That makes me very happy. I bought organic sweet potatoes, and I don't remember which, so a lot of times they will spray them with a chemical that makes them not sprout. So I had sweet potatoes from Whole Foods and sweet potatoes from Sprouts. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it is the one from Sprouts that began to grow the slips. So this is what I got today. This all came from one sweet potato that I grew the slips out of and then grew these potatoes. I've learned a ton. For one thing, these grow bags just disintegrated like crazy. So I think next year I'm gonna go with a harder type of grow bag. And I'm gonna definitely plant more because I love sweet potatoes. I'll probably order some slips as well as growing my own because the Beauregard are really delicious and I don't think that's what I got. Also, the purple sweet potatoes are really, really healthy. And so I'm gonna order some slips. So this is my first ever harvest. I've learned a ton. And next year in gardening, it's kind of like football. If your team doesn't do so great, there's always next year. And it's the same way in the garden. Okay, now we're gonna go inside and I'm gonna show you the next part of the process, which is how to cure your sweet potatoes so that they're nice and sweet, and then to be able to store them as long as you want, basically. So the next part in the process, once you pull the sweet potatoes from the ground, is you have to cure them. Now, I didn't realize that. I thought you could just wash them off and cook them and eat them, but apparently you have to cure them so that they get that sweet flavor. Otherwise, they're just not that sweet. They're kind of mealy instead of being, you know, a nice firm texture. So what you're gonna do is you do not wash the potatoes. You're just gonna brush the excess dirt off. Not gonna really worry about it. You wanna try not to damage the skin while you do this. So this is a little bit caked. I'm not gonna be too rough with that. So I'm gonna do that to each one of these. The next step in the process is you have to cure the sweet potatoes, and they need a temperature about 80 to 85 degrees and humid. So what happens much of the time is that people will block a room off in their house, They'll put space heaters in there and a humidifier and drive the temperature up to 85 degrees to cure their sweet potatoes. Well, of course, small potatoes, haha, like me, I don't need to do a whole room, and that's going to be ridiculous. So I found this. Shout out to the Millennial Gardener. I found him on YouTube and thought I would make this device for myself. So what you need is a seed starter mat. That's what this black thing is. And you can see the temperature here is 84.7 degrees. It's got a wire that goes inside. Let me lift this off. This is going to measure the temperature. So I can be sure that the temp in here is reaching 80 to 85 degrees. Now I mentioned that I had one sweet potato that was really big and I went ahead and harvested it. Let me show you the big guy. Boom! When I felt around, so I saw the end of this sticking out and I was so curious, I couldn't stand it. So I started feeling with my fingers. It's like, oh my gosh. And I got down around it and said, okay, this guy has got to get harvested now and see if we can allow other potatoes that might be in there to grow. So this guy has been in the warmth and humidity now for 2 weeks, which is the max amount of time you would want to do it. Now he's going to go into this cardboard box so it stays dark. And he's going to go out into my garage where it's going to stay cool. So once you've done the curing process, you want to store it in the cool, dark area. So usually a garage is a good place for that. Now, the big guy's done, but I've got these little guys that we just harvested to go ahead and cure as well. Because they're smaller, I'm not going to let them go the whole 2 weeks. I'll probably do about 7 or 8 days. So let's get them lined up. I'm putting some new water in here. And now we're going to let these new ones do their curing. And in about 7 or 8 days, I will move them into a cardboard box, also into the garage where they'll stay nice and cool. And then you guys, I'll cook one and I'll do a taste test right in front of you. Hopefully it's going to be good. But I have to say, I feel like a real farmer, taking my own sweet potato, growing the slips, getting it from the very start of one potato to 1, 2, 3, 4 decent size, and 1, 2, 3, 4 little guys. Can't wait for next year. If you would like to get this set up for yourself, the mat is off Amazon, and I will put a link in the description. And then the plastic tub I just got at Walmart. They're very inexpensive. And this helps in the early spring if you want to grow things from seed as well.